Hello and welcome. I am Adam. This is highly articulated. Um, no, this is open late. This isn't highly articulated. The channel is highly articulated. When I'm facing the camera like this, I'm usually doing a highly articulated episode. Today is a bit of a special occasion. Normally, when I do open late, of course, it is the camera reversed. You're seeing product. You're seeing a box of an action figure or something like that. This is a little bit different. I got this in the mail from my good buddy Jeremy, and it didn't fit the way I normally do my unboxings. But also, I don't know what's in here, so there's kind of an aspect of like I think Jeremy wants to see my reaction to what's in here. Um, the chat is already hopping, so I'm very quickly just gonna say hello to everybody in the chat. Tyler was here super early. That comment came in like an hour ago. Jeremy says, let's go. Brick says, what's in the box? Scott Baker says, it's me again. Yeah, it's good to see you again, Scott. Scott and I have been chatting for the last 15 minutes. Anyway, Kato's here. What's going on, Kato? Masterversal Toy Hunter. Immortan Jojo. It's prime time toy time. Absolutely. Masterversal says, indeed, sir. Multi-tuning. I have to say thank you to you guys because you're absolutely right. There's so many good channels, so many good shows. There's so much good stuff to watch on YouTube. I really do appreciate that you guys are here hanging out with me while I geek out on what's in this box. Scott says AWOK double dipping tonight. Yeah, we watched Kato and Inutabi's Animal Warriors of the podcast earlier. If you haven't seen it, you should definitely check it out if you're a fan of Animal Warriors of the Kingdom. I will put a link to Kato's channel in the description down below. I will also put a link to Spiro Toys if you're interested in getting any Animal Warriors of the Kingdom stuff. That's going to be your best bet. That's going to be a great place to get it. Now, if you're in Canada, as I am, I will also put a link to eCollectibles.ca, which is where I'm getting the bulk of my Animal Warriors of the Kingdom, sort of in addition to what I ordered straight from Spiro. So I will put all those links down below. I can't read all the comments. I'm already too far behind. Man, there's a lot of comments. And if I missed, oh, there AI. What's going on, AI? Yeah, Jeremy says don't dox my address. I don't want to show any of the addresses on here because mine's on here too. So, without further ado, I will say that I didn't even notice until I was just getting ready to go. I think, if I'm not mistaken, is this the Viper, the G.I. Joe Classified Viper 3-pack box? Anyway, let's get this thing open. I have an idea of what is in this box. I know one of the items. Well, I know a couple of the items, but I don't know all of the items. And the reason that I don't know all of the items is because Jeremy very generously and very graciously offered me one thing, and then was like, you know what? I'm gonna send you more than just that one thing. So I know about that thing, and then there's more. So without further ado, let's get into oh boy. Oh, that's okay. All right. Okay. Something bubble wrapped. There's an Animal Warriors of the Kingdom Kali sticker. I bet there's not a ton of those around, although there may be more now that stuff is starting to ship out. So what's in the bubble wrap, I will save till the end, or should I show that first? Jeremy, what do you think? Should I do the non-bubble wrapped or the bubble wrapped first? More Tan Jojo says, bubble wrap, best gift ever. Funny you should say that, because my kids actually love the bubble wrap that has like the big bubbles, you know, like not the small stuff, but the big stuff. And we actually give that to them like for Christmas so that they can just stomp on it and go wild. Um, Brick says, pop all the bubbles first. Yeah, I mean, we won't really have an ASMR section of tonight's video because I'm not actually unboxing anything, but um, okay, I'll do the first. I'll do what was in the bubble wrap first, and then I will and then I'll do the other bit. Um, so first things first, and so I've been kind of making reference to this. And I mean, if you saw the thumbnail, you know, or you might have guessed. Um, and I'll give you a little hint. You recognize? Does anybody recognize that? Anybody want to guess what that is? Any guesses? Anyway, that's going to be attached to the other piece. And then, anybody? Nothing? No guesses? I'm a little bit disappointed. Kato, I thought you might get it. This is the Atreyu prototype head. Now, the reason that Jeremy sent me this is because I've been banging on about getting I've been banging on about getting one of the test figures, the true test shots. I won't get into that. I'll just leave it at that. But this is a prototype Atreyu head. Jeremy was he's mentioned it multiple times that this doesn't come out. Now it is articulated, which is kind of crazy, but I guess the way that it's been printed, the way that it's been molded, it's stuck in there. But this is awesome. This is, and I'm not just saying this, this may be my favorite piece in my collection as of right now. And the reason that I say that is because I work in logistics. I work in like purchasing for what I do. So I deal with I deal with sort of products before they're launched, or I know about products before they're launched, and I just love this sort of, you know, behind the curtain, you know, the inside baseball, like the how the sausage is made. And I absolutely love that this is part of the history of Animal Warriors of the Kingdom. This is, you know, you know, in the phase of like, hey, we're not 100% sure what they're going to look like, but man, after seeing this, right? Just seeing this sculpt in hand, oh boy, we are in for a treat. I'm like, the detail work is fantastic. The hair, the ears, there's texture. I don't think the camera is not going to pick it up, but there's like texture in the fur on the forehead and everything. Phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal, fantastic. Even the neck joint has, you know, texture in the fur, which again, it is not going to get picked up on this crummy camera in 720p. But regardless, I am like, I could honestly sit here for the next 15 minutes and just stare at this thing, and you guys will be bored out of your minds. So I'll move on to the next piece, and then I'll come back to this once I'm done with the video. Let's just quickly jump into the comments. I want to quickly see. So Tyler was first. He got it right away. Scott said, "Is that my boy's man bun?" Brick's so clever. He said hair. What's going on, Michael? Glad to have you. Atreyu. Kato got Atreyu, absolutely. Mortanjo just said, yo. Brick said, yes. Man, I'm so happy. I'm so happy to have this. Now begins my search for like a full test shot figure. Um, but I think both Jeremy and Jason are both getting tired of me asking if that's ever going to be a possibility. Scott says he looks so good. Honestly, I'm not exaggerating, and I'm not trying to like, you know, you guys, if you've ever tuned into my videos before, you know that I really don't gush about things, right? Like I get something that I like and I'm like, it's cool. This is phenomenal. This is awesome. Like the sculpt work is, I didn't expect the amount of texture. I didn't expect the amount of detail. Um, and I can't wait. I cannot wait to get the figures in hand. Even the way that the neck is sculpted, it's not just it's not just a cylinder with a ball on it, you know, like there's shape to it, like it looks like a neck. Anyway, that's a weird, it is a neck, but Brick says really love that hair fur, it looks phenomenal. Tyler said after seeing Jason posing Atreyu, he easily became my favorite. Kato says I was right. I guess there was a head in the box. Okay, so I was teasing it. I knew that this was in the box. I put this sort of test shot of Atreyu on the thumbnail. Even on the thumbnail, I wrote what's in the box, you know, like the famous line from Seven. And on the podcast today, on the Animal Warriors of the podcast, I said if it's a severed head, I'm going to be very upset. It is, in fact, a severed head. But anyway, let's not get too hung up on this. I will do that on my own afterwards. Let's see here. Brick says that's 100% a historic piece to have in your collection. Absolutely. And this is going to go, I'm going to get a little shadow box, and get it in there. If I don't get it graded, Jeremy's telling me I should get it graded, but I will see. I looked into getting it graded and how much it would cost and how long it would take and all that kind of stuff. But, Jeremy says, well deserved, sir. Couldn't think of a better person to have that piece. There's probably 100 people, if not 1,000, that deserve it before me. But I appreciate that you sent it to me. I really, really thank you. I'm very, very happy with the piece. Kato says, awesome piece to add to the collection, dude. Yeah, absolutely. Michael says, I cherry-picked AWOK, but if the product is worth the hype, I'll get more from Mike. Mike being Mike from eCollectibles, absolutely. Honestly, if I only had this to go on, I would say that it's gonna be worth the hype. Brick said, all the heads in this line are just fantastic. Really love the art direction. Such cool looking, lively characters. Yep. Jay Wright says hello. What's going on, Jay? AI says, you're killing me here, Adam. I have a cart full and haven't pulled the trigger yet. Hey, every time I talk to you, AI, I tell you should probably get a couple more. You won't regret it. You won't regret it. I've said this before, and I'm not the only one that said this. This line is going to blow up. This line is absolutely going to blow up. If you're not familiar with Yes Have Some podcast, Toy Anxiety did their Jeffrey Awards on Tuesday night, and in the comments I said Animal Warriors of the Kingdom is going to be the Rookie of the Year brand next year for their Jeffrey Awards, which is their annual toy show, and I stand by that. So, AI says, you've been preaching AWOK and showing them love. Man, I absolutely love it. I absolutely love it. And on Kato's podcast earlier today, I was going back and forth. I think it was with you, Tyler, about anthropomorphized animal characters. For me, it all kicked off with Disney's Robin Hood. Those animals were sort of my first foray into the style of sort of animals. That wasn't like Jungle Book, because I mean in Jungle Book or something like that, you sometimes see animals that can talk, but anthropomorphized is a different thing. And I absolutely fell in love with those. The stop motion animation Wind in the Willows. I don't know if you guys have seen it. I don't know if you're gonna be into it, even if you haven't. Yeah, maybe don't watch it. Whatever. I loved it. Thundercats, Ninja Turtles to a certain extent, right? There was a whole lot of animals and sort of anthropomorphized things going on in there, although they're mutants, so it's kind of different technically speaking. But anyway, that's and then the Redwall novels. I got into Redwall novels. And then this is kind of like a weird culmination of all those things. Animal Warriors of the Kingdom is just sort of like leveling up on that. And I absolutely love comic books. I absolutely love the lore, and I'm constantly messaging Jason like, what about this? Like, could there be this? Would this be possible in this world? And I can't wait to have Jason back on once we get some figures in hand. We're gonna do a little bit more of a deep dive into the lore and just talk about the figures a little bit more. And Brick, who's like 87 years old, said Planet of the Apes for this old man. Hey, Inu Tabby's joined us. Hello, Inu Tabby. Nice to see you there. Kato says, dude, same. Disney's Robin Hood and Thundercats for me too. Yeah, like those are they're awesome. And I think, depending on where you land age-wise might sort of affect it, right? So Brick's, twice my age, so he's into Planet of the Apes. Kato, you and I are probably the same age bracket, which puts, Robin Hood and Thundercats. Tyler may be a little bit younger. That's what I'm guessing, only based on his comment. I have no idea. I'm just basing it on that. Street Sharks, Biker Mice from Mars, Earthworm Jim. Redwall was an amazing show. I've never even really seen the Redwall show, if I'm being honest. I read the novels. Tyler said I read a couple Redwall novels. Wow, there's like 40 of them or some crazy number. I think I've got about half of them. I've got the good ones. Princess 88. Come correct. Tyler says 32. Okay, so 32 on 40. So that's that makes sense. That makes sense. Jay said, did the Rancor driving Ghost Rider car win any awards? Low blow, man. Low blow. Don't worry, Jeremy. I'll keep him safe. I'll keep him safe. I'll tell you what, Jeremy. I'll bring him to Legion's Con if I come too, so you can check in with him and visit a little bit. Brick, something just learned today from Dan Larson that LEGO was developing a Thundercats 2011 line. It became Chima. I learned that today too. I actually love Chima, although I kind of picked a whole bunch of it up sort of secondhand used. But Kato says I'm an old fart too. Jojo says I'm dead in dog years. That was only one of the things, guys. We haven't even gotten into the second part. And the second part is, I think, maybe... Okay, I don't want to look too deep. Okay, so this is... Again, guys, this is sort of the process stuff. Kind of cardstock. This is, I'll start at the beginning and I'll go through them. I knew about the first one. The second one I'd sort of seen because it was, Jeremy gave me an option. He said, do you want this one or this one? And then I guess in the end, my choice didn't matter. These are the design art sheets for the the render sheets. What are these called, Jeremy? What's the official term for these? So this is the Pacodine. I don't know if this is Mambu or if this is like a generic elephant. I don't know. But so all you guys that are kind of talking about oh, I can't wait for there to be an elephant. That's there's a good chance that's what he's going to look like. Up next, we have the raving. So this is the crow. So this will be in the first wave that has soft goods. How cool does that look? Yeah, thanks a lot, Jeremy. He says they're called gifts from Jeremy. Brick says character model sheets gifted by Jeremy. Yeah, okay, I get it. I get it. Next up, and there's a stack of these guys. There's about 10 of these. Next up, Walrus guy. I don't know what his name is. If I know their names, I'll tell you, but some of them I don't know their names. My understanding is that the Walrus will be on the same buck as Laranja. It's been sort of referred to as the Thor buck. Now I'm just comparing the artwork as I go to sort of see where I can see like this one. I don't think I've ever seen. I'm gonna save this one for last because I don't think I've seen that one. This one's dope too. Hold on. Now I gotta do a quick look to see what. Oh no, I gotta save this one for last because this might be my favorite one, my most anticipated. All right. Where are we at? Where are we at? I'm just sort of shuffling these to put them in an order where like they kind of make sense to talk about. So again, the that walrus. So very quickly, back to the walrus. Like I said, that is going to be on the same buck as Laranja, to the best of my knowledge. Don't quote me. I don't work for Spiro Toys. This is just the stuff that Jason tells me. Could all be lies. This is going to be the same buck, to the best of my knowledge. This is a warthog. He looks pretty cool. After that, we have the Laranja, who would be the same sort of size and general shape as the warthog and the walrus. Then after that, Kato, I think you're gonna like this one. Kali Prime. So the kind of oversized, brute, scaled Kali. Note that the mirrored. It's mirrored. I gotta go backwards. The shield on there. So this sort of shield is right here as well. So that's like a full sort of ape head thing. Man. I can only assume that that'll be sort of like the Thane buck. Other people have mentioned it, and it's sort of, I guess, relevant with Savage Crucible. We could see a little bit of crossover. We've got a lizard man type character there. No tail. When I've sort of spoken to Jeremy about tails in the line, it has to make sense with the buck, and it has to make sense with the articulation and the armor and stuff like that. My understanding is that there's going to be tails at some point, but none of these have them just yet. Unitabi says, please be a turtle. There's no turtle, sadly. I want a turtle too, though. Sorry, I'll check into the comments once in a while. I've only got a few more. We'll see. Jeremy says, those are called turnarounds, concept art for 3D modelers. So that my understanding is that these are sort of the designs that are sent to the modelers. The modelers then do the sort of 3D design work to sort of come up with the figures, right? So, ooh, Kali Prime. Yeah, he looks good. Scott says, these are getting me excited for when the comic is going. The comic is going, Scott. What are you doing, man? The first 3 issues have been awesome. I love the comic. I can't wait for more. What else? Brick says, great armor on that lizard. And Mortan Jojo says, lizard bros. Yep. Jesus, Sasquatch. Not quite, but there's some cool stuff. It's close. It's kind of close, isn't it? Kato says, AWOK is taking all my money. Yeah. Yours and mine both. This is the Fang-torn soldier. So if you've read the comic books, this guy shows up in issue 3. He comes up with a certain accessory that I'm really hoping he comes with in the figure. My understanding is that this figure is going to come both with a helmeted head and an unhelmeted wolf head. But there's another accessory that I really hope he comes with as well. Then we got a couple thick boys here. I know you guys thought those last ones were thick. These are thicker. We've got a big old rhino. Thick. That's about as thick as they get, I think. Although equally thick, we got a big old hippo. Like, these are fun, aren't they? Like, man. Now, here's a couple. If you've been reading the comics, you will know about these guys. This is sort of the evolution of Belarus from the 4-inch scaled series. In the comic books, he is referred to as the Void. He is kind of a cybernetically enhanced wolf. I think in the 4-inch line he was a bear, but I think in primal scale he's now a wolf. And last but not least, one that I'm super excited for a whole bunch of reasons. But again, in the comic book, he was just kind of like, he only had a couple lines. He only had a couple, little nuggets. But I'm really, really keen to see what this guy looks like in the 6-inch scale. This is King Hannibal, the leader of the Feralist tribe. And this guy just looks phenomenal. That big old sword. He will be the same size or the same height as Thane, but not as thick as Thane. So it won't be quite the same parts that come with Thane. It doesn't feel right to say that's it, but that is all of the art. That's, I mean, look at this. There's a whole bunch of these. And these are awesome. And these I am framing and putting on my wall. These are going to, have a place of pride. There's some things on my wall that might get bumped to make room for these. Let's see what's going on in the comments here. AI says General Thane is top of my list, but love to see where this line is going. Thane is going to be a really, really great figure, and I think he's going to be, a necessity. And if you intend to ever play the game, Thane's unique ability is pretty awesome. He can actually throw cover so that he can add defense to your character. But anyway, that's tabletop. We could nerd out on the tabletop game. I won't go too deep on that. Let's see what people are loving. Mortan Jojo says, okay, I need that. I need these. That hippo is insane. Jay Wright says he's the first one that I owned. I think you mean Belarus, the cybernetic bear in the 4-inch line. As soon as I saw him in issue 2, as soon as I saw him, I messaged Jason. I was like, "You better not deliver that figure." Quip says, "Pretty, absolutely. They're stunning. They look really good. They're beautiful." Michael says, "Wow, for sure." Brick says, "I want a Cone of Shame accessory." Jeremy, can you whisper that in the right ears? Think of how that would affect your gameplay. Game changer. Jeremy says, Pacadine going to be huge. Yeah, when I may be speaking out of turn, and like I said, I don't know any of this information. This is just sort of stuff that I've gleaned from chats with Jason and well, mostly Jason. Jeremy gives me some insights and sort of clears up some things. But Jason's basically said, like, if you have a Mythic Legions troll, the elephant's gonna be similar in size to that. So big. He's gonna be big. Brick says, frame and archive those well. I absolutely am going to. Quip says, "Yer." Jeremy says, "Yer." Jeremy, I don't know. From you, it doesn't sound right. But Tyler says, all of those are the characters look amazing. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And Immortan Joe just says, "Oh my God, I need the elephant." Yeah. And they like, now I'm going to just go over these, with like in detail and look like at which figure. Okay. So this is, so like just doing some detective work, right? And just sort of comparing sort of the shapes and the angles and stuff like that. These two are going to be sort of standard size figures, and then most of these aren't. Like, so you get the orangutan, and then the orangutan gives us warthog. The orangutan buck gives us the walrus. Then the crow. I mean, that's going to be pretty much all new, right? All new stuff. I'm trying to work out. I think these guys will be like close to Thane size. The hippo and the rhino, I think, will be like close to Thane size. And then I'm thinking, let me see if I can hold this up in a way that it will sort of make sense. I'm thinking these three will be the same size. Right? Just by like, look at how their legs are kind of similar. So I think those three will probably be the same size. And I think they'll be a little bit smaller than Thane, or like a little bit less thick than Thane, if that makes sense. But anyways, guys, that's what I got. Beautiful. It looks absolutely fantastic. And as I said, the camera is not going to do it justice. It absolutely looks phenomenal. Brick says Belarus looks amazing. We're going to get Grimes in the new line. I hope so. Grimes is one that I hope we get. I want everybody to just kind of keep spamming Spectral Pale. I really want Spectral Pale. He's not in the comic book, and Jason sort of said that, that ability that was in the original idea for the comic book didn't really carry over, but I think he could kind of work it in there. I think it could work maybe as an exclusive, somewhere along the line, or in the same way that the repaint of Thane for PowerCon is sort of not an in canon figure. Maybe we could get a non in canon Spectral Pale, Jason. Maybe, huh? Jay says, I think I'm getting a few of these for a buddy that backed but has changed his life. He's made some poor decisions if he's not collecting toys anymore. Jeremy, sorry, I'm from Texas. Yeehaw! Mortan Jojo, we are living in the golden age for indie action figures. Absolutely, we are, absolutely. And that's the other thing, right? Like if Animal Warriors of the Kingdom isn't your thing, maybe Savage Crucible is. Maybe, you know, Action Force is. Maybe something that Haya Toys is doing, or Joy Toy, or whatever. Like, there's so many crazy good brands putting out so much crazy good stuff. Tyler, I think Jason said the orangutan will have soft goods too. Yep, absolutely. So his like sash will be soft goods as well. And I think they're going to be right around the same time as the crow. I think initially the crow came before, but I think it might have got bumped, or I don't know. Brick something says Craig YHS. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what that. Anyway, Jeremy says Grimes. Stay tuned. Scott Baker. I know Scott wants it. I know Scott wants Spectral Pale. Jay Wright. Jeremy may kick you out of any groups that are connected to Animal Warriors of the Kingdom. Kato says all of the above. That's the correct answer. That is the correct answer, Kato. And you know what's crazy? A little more sort of, you know, behind the curtain. And I'm not gonna go into any details. Don't worry, Jeremy. There's more species and more characters than these that I know of that are in the works, and some of it is wild, and I can't wait to sort of see. Oh, that Atreyu head reminds me of Craig from YHS. Yeah, I can see it now. Actually, it's kind of the right shape. It's kind of scruffy enough. Yeah, I can see it. I can see it. Quip says exactly. So much great stuff out there. Whatever floats your boat or finds your lost remote, there's something out there for everybody. There absolutely is. If you like it, I love it. That's a great way of looking at it. That's a great way of looking at it. Michael, has Jason told you when the next comic book issues will be released? No. They're working on issue 4, and I think there's going to be a little bit of a hiccup time frame wise right now, because he's probably going to be focusing on other things, like getting us our action figures in hand. So I think it'll be a minute, but you know what we've gotten so far in the first 3 issues, if I'm being perfectly honest, this yeah, I want issues 4 and 5 because that should finish this sort of initial story arc. I can reread those first 3 issues so many times, and I already have, but it doesn't, like, I can still like go back and find something else. Or like now that I finished issue 3, like I could go back to issue 1 and be like, oh, I never, like, that makes more sense now. So I'm not super worried about, you know, when issue 4 comes. I'm really looking forward to it. Don't get me wrong. And if it came out yesterday, yesterday, if it came out yesterday, if it came out tomorrow, I'd be over the moon. I just don't think it will. But like I said, we've got the 3 in the meantime, and you know, I've got my prototype head, so I'm good for now. The figures are on their way. We'll probably get more news about the game soon enough, you know, and the future waves soon enough. So I think that'll tide me over. Scott Baker, will the Strups be doing all the soft goods? That I don't know. I do know that Sean has been involved and is involved. Oh, Jeremy says the Strups are definitely involved in the soft goods. As far as doing all, I don't know. That would be a question for Jason. I mean, Jeremy might know, clearly has some insight, but Jeremy said, to answer Michael's question, the next issue of the comic will come out the day it's released. Well, there you have it. It'll be out the day that it's released. Anything else? Any other questions? Any other comments? Anything you want to see one more time before we finish up? We're at 42 minutes. I got a few more minutes before my wife knocks on the door and says, time's up. You're not allowed to hang out with your friends anymore. What do you guys got? Nothing? Anyone? Anyone? Nothing? Okay. I got a bunch of these. I've got more than I can probably fit on my wall. I don't know which one I'll be willing to give up, but I'll say it right now. When I hit 500 subs, I will give one of these away. But I'll try to do it in a way that like prioritizes people that have been around for a while. Like if you're here now, you're hearing it here first. I'll try to figure something out. I don't care about the numbers, but if I can get better numbers, then I have better access to some tools on YouTube and stuff like that, and I can just make my videos better. So that's my motivation there. Take it for what it is, but yeah, I'm a long ways off. It's not like if one of you subs, then we're good to go. But Mortan Jojo says, have a fantastic night. I got a comic I'm gonna hunt down for you. I'll keep you posted. I'm very curious to know what that means. Kato says, I hit up your DMs on Instagram, Adam. Okay, I will check that when I'm done here. Brick, can you put the head next to another figure you have? Size comparison, etc. I can, but what I'll say is this: the prototype is probably a little bit bigger. Normally they're a little bit bigger, but let's see. Let's see. What do you want it compared to, Brick? I mean, I'm happy to compare. I think it will be a little bit bigger, but it'll give you an idea. I mean, the closest things that I have at hand, I got like a G.I. Joe. I'll grab G.I. Joe Classified. I'll grab Mythic Legion. Well, I got a 1.0 Mythic Legions. Yeah. Oh, I know what I can compare it to. Hold on. All right, so this, okay, I think this is about enough. Well, I'll grab one more just because I can. Just because it's not relevant at all, so it'll be a fun one. SH Figure Arts Goku. It's huge compared to that. Although, I don't know, you could probably, I mean, if you wanted to, you could probably fudge it. It is also quite big to the closest in terms of sculpt that I could think of, which is the Outback, G.I. Joe Classified Outback. They kind of look like they could be related. Then I've got a AWOK from Mythic Legions. Those aren't far off. Those are actually closer than I thought they would be. Although I think that the Animal Warriors of the Kingdoms figures will scale a little bit bigger than Mythic Legions, but I don't think they're going to look awkward next to each other. And then probably the most appropriate, I've got a Super 7's Ultimate Lion-O. And they're, you know, when this shrinks down a few percent, I think they're going to be like bang on. So if you've got the Thundercats, I think the Thundercats are going to be like the best match. And I think that's not entirely by accident. I think Jeremy really likes those Super 7 Thunder Cats. Jeremy says they're typically 5% bigger than the production run. Yes, so there you go. Scott Baker, you're definitely a flock guy when you can't find a 1 Legion. Yes, I am. But you already knew that. So that's, and if you don't know what we're talking about, that's Mythic Legions. Xylona's Flock is the faction that I'm the biggest fan of. And almost all of them use what's referred to as a 2.0 body, which is like a slimmer body. Jay says, compare it with the Headless Horseman. I would, but I don't even have that because that figure didn't interest me because I only like critters. Jay says, for an accurate size comparison, Pale is the same height as Master versus He-Man. So there you go. So that'll be sort of the scale that'll work. I don't have a Masterverse figure. I don't have a single Masterverse figure. Which the weird thing is, I chat with a whole bunch of Motu guys all the time, and I have nothing to contribute to the conversation because I have 0 Masterverse figures and 0 Origin figures. I just have an Origins Battle Cat. That's the only Motu thing I own. Although Jay Wright has promised that he's going to help me out in that regard. Tyler says, I need to get a He-Man. Yeah, me too. I got a Battle Cat and I don't have a He-Man. All right, guys, we're just about that's just about it. Well, that's all I got. I'm gonna spend the next however long. I'll probably go sit on the couch and pretend to watch TV with my wife and just look at these for the next few hours until I fall asleep and dream of Animal Warriors of the Kingdom. But on that note, guys, absolutely thank you for joining me. As was mentioned sort of early on in there's so much good stuff on YouTube. I genuinely appreciate that anybody would want to come and hang out and you know, I think there's more people watching this not knowing what I was going to unbox than I typically have when I unbox things that I announce. Kato says, thanks for sharing these and thanks for sending them. Yeah, absolutely. Jeremy, thank you for sending them. I've said it before. I'll say it again. And like I said, at some point, I'm definitely going to make sure that I spread the love a little bit and give away 1 or 2 of these. So Brick says, thanks for that. Congrats on that. Awesome. Well teased, Jeremy. Well teased. Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for sharing. Have a great night, says Quip. I appreciate you guys, as I always say. If you haven't tuned in before, I genuinely appreciate everybody being on here. It's always more fun to open toys with your friends. So come back. If you enjoyed this video, hit the like button. If you're jealous, feel free to hit the dislike button. Hit the subscription button if you would. I would greatly appreciate that. Jeremy said, give me back the Rhino. I'll give you back the Rhino if you want it back. It was rightfully yours. Hit the sub button if you want to be notified when I'm doing videos. Sometimes when I do these videos, it's like a couple hours, a few hours notice. So hit that notification button, and then that way you'll get the notification, so you won't miss one of these episodes. I think it's more fun to watch them live. I think it's more fun to interact in the comments and stuff like that. But if you can, I appreciate you watching it in a replay. So thank you to everyone and anyone that was watching. Special shout out to you, Jeremy, for sending these. I appreciate this so much. I'm so excited. Like I said, I gotta find a way to display this really prominently. I'm thinking shadow box or something like that. But thank you. Have a great evening, everybody. I will talk to you again very, very soon. Cliff says, if you're a hating-ass hater, hit the dislike. Engagement is engagement. 100%. And I would love to know, you know, like if people don't like my videos, I'd love to know why. You know, not that I'm gonna change. I mean, I do these because I like them. I do them because I'm having fun. So I won't change. But I'd be curious to know what people didn't like. Probably just me. Probably just my face and my voice and the quality of the videos. So like everything would be my assumption. Anyway, thanks guys. Next time.